Hi everyone, I'm FMGreeno. Welcome along to the Greeno Tour, my FM21 European journeyman save. Today we are back on England duty and we have two absolutely massive games. First up we play France, then Croatia, both in the Nations League, and we need to win both. As you can see, in the Nations League here, we sit in second place in the group right now. We're 4 points behind France with 2 games to play. We play France first up, so if we can beat them, that will put the gap down to 1. But then we're going to be relying on them slipping up against Scotland while we beat Croatia. So, still lots to do. Let's go and see how we're setting up for that first game against France. We've got a couple of players missing out through suspension today. Reece James and Declan Rice both have to sit out. The team has got a mixture of familiar players and some maybe less familiar. So we've still got the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Foden, Rashford, Greenwood in the starting 11. Curtis Jones is also playing today, who Liverpool fans will be more than well aware of. Got Luke Thomas at left back, plays for Leicester in real life. He is currently with Arsenal in-game, so it'll be good to see how he gets on. Max Grice, of course, we all know from Roma. He is the mainstay of our back four. And then a bunch of players who are at other teams. So we have a goalkeeper here, Mike Terry. He made his debut recently. He is playing for Liverpool. We have this guy, Andreas Constantinou, plays for Chelsea. Good ball-playing centre-half. We have Ronald Musa. Plays for Spurs. He's going to play in that holding midfield role today. And up top, Brian Grogan, who leads the line for Manchester United. He's not in great goal-scoring form, it has to be said. So hopefully he would have brought his shooting boots with him today. Let's get over to the stadium and see how we get on. So the boys are out at a packed Wembley Stadium and the game is underway. France still with a number of players you'll recognise here in their lineup. We still have Mbappe, Camavinga, Cherki, Aït-Nouri, Todibo, Koundé. So some pretty strong players, aging a little bit I would guess. Definitely looking for a bit of a better performance than we had in our last game. I mentioned it in my previous Roma episode. The last game we went up to Scotland and lost 4-2. Declan Rice getting sent off in that game. Oh, what a save! And that was what really put us up against it. And Scotland took full advantage of us being down to 10 men, it has to be said. In fact, as a result of that defeat, we lost our #1 spot in the world to France. So there's a lot riding on this game. Well, the first half has not exactly been filled with highlights, although we have by far had the better of the game. Look at these stats here. We've had 12 shots, 6 on target, and they've only had 1 shot in the whole half. Unfortunately, none of the shots we've had have been deemed highlight worthy, which is a little unusual, isn't it? So I think we're going to tell the guys that we want them to avenge what happened last time they played against France. That seems to have motivated most of them. We'll get them out for the second half, and hopefully we'll see a bit more action. The highlight here is actually for France. Mbappe gets the ball in. It's headed clear. But France win the ball back again. They're going backwards at the moment. Camavinga on the ball. There's Koundé. Now he starts to go forward. We could do with winning this ball if at all possible. There's Mbappe. Still got the legs there. Oh, he's won himself a penalty, is he? Yes, he has. He's going to take it himself as well. I'll keep a Terry from Liverpool. Can he save this one? He cannot. So France, it has to be said, against the run of play, take the lead. It was a very well struck penalty. Keeper seemed to dive, but not actually sideways, which is never helpful. Another highlight here. Goal kick for France. Constantinou wins the ball. Foden is brushed off it by one of the French players. An opportunity there to win the ball, but unfortunately we didn't. But here comes Greenwood now. Can he beat his man? Pulls it back to Curtis Jones. There's Musa. Trent. We've lost the ball there. Can we win it back? Yes, we can. Rashford now working the channels. Gets it across. Grogan, what an opportunity. A great block by a French defender. So with 20 minutes to go, roughly, it's time to make some changes. I've just noticed Scotland have gone up in their game, which isn't great for us. So who's having a poor game? Greenwood's having an absolute stinker, so I think we can take him off. Jermaine Green can come on for him. We also have Musa not playing great, so maybe we'll take him out. How do we want to play this? I think we'd probably put Constantino in there, and we can bring Tomori on centre half. And we'll get them out. Bit of an encouraged shout. Hope for some luck in the last 20 minutes. One last little throw of the dice. Foden has come off because he's very tired, and we've brought on Anja in. But nothing really seems to be happening. I can't believe these stats we've got here, and we haven't troubled the scorers yet. It's really disappointing. I think we've been by far the better team in this game, but it looks like we are going to lose. 1-0 to France tonight. So, that defeat to France means we've got nothing but pride to play for in this Nations League campaign. We go to Croatia now for our final game. France are playing Scotland. We're level on points with Scotland at the moment, so that's definitely a big incentive to try and win this game. So, a few changes to the lineup. Declan Rice and Reece James come back in after having been banned in the last game. A few tired legs as well, so we've moved Musa back to centre-half. Grice drops out. Livramento comes in at left back. Luke Thomas drops out. We've also changed Bellingham in here for Foden. And Sancho has come in on the left-hand side for Rashford. Other than that, it's the same players that featured in the last game. Let's head over to Croatia and see if we can get a result. So here we are in Croatia. Again, a packed stadium. Obviously, England coming into town is always a big draw. Fairly familiar faces in amongst the Croatian lineup. We'll have a look at that when it comes back on the screen again. Terry's looking for a long ball there. Gvardiol wins the ball. Here's Brekalo for them. Josic. Gvardiol. Oh, what a ball that is. Oh, and the keeper has let himself down. The goalkeeping position is a bit of a conundrum. I've got 3 goalkeepers of a very, very similar standard. And I just thought Mike Terry was the one who looked like he'd been in better form recently. But there, not great. We might have to reassess this by the time the next international window comes round. So as I was saying, yeah, we've still got Matija Kovacic here, Brekalo, Nikola Vlasic, Sutalo, so Palaversa. So, yeah. A fair smattering of real-life players still in their lineup, 10 or 12 years into the future. We are not really into this game very much so. We're not doing particularly well. In fact, being behind puts Croatia above us in the table, as you can see here. So if Scotland were to get a point, we could actually get relegated out of this Nations League Group A. That would be a disaster. So I think it's time for a shout. We're going to encourage the team. It's a corner to Croatia here. Go off the bar, goodness me. We are not doing terribly well here. Right, it's reached half-time and we're still a goal down. Trent at right back is starting to look quite tired, but we're going to give him a little while longer. But there's not very many good match ratings in here, is there? Greenwood again, not having a great game. Grogan up front also not playing particularly well. So I think we're going to get into the dressing room and we're going to give him a bit of thrashy arms. I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen and hope for better in the second half. So France are doing their bit. They're beating Scotland, so that should keep them below us, hopefully. We've made one change. Trent was absolutely wrecked, so I shifted Livramento from left back to right back, and I brought Grice on at left back. As we know, he's a better centre-half, but we have been using him at left-back at Roma quite a lot this season. Now, can we build something here? Grice up to Sancho. We haven't seen anything of him in this game yet, really. Let's see what he's got. Pulls it back to Jude Bellingham, and he has scored! What a hit! Well, that puts a better spin on things. I mean, this is a team we beat 6-0 recently, mind. Let's not forget that. But Sancho did really well there. Drew a couple of defenders with him. So when Bellingham had the ball pulled back to him on the edge of the box, he had enough time and space to absolutely leather it home. So that's a little bit better. We're going to demand more. We want to push for a win here if we can. That does put us back up to second in the group, mind. So that's something, I guess. Bellingham and Jones are both tired, but we got an opportunity here from this corner. So let's see what happens with that before making any changes. Oh, Grogan. Oh, hang on. We won a penalty somehow. I don't know what that was for. Who's going to take this? Curtis Jones of all people. Blimey. He tucks it away, though. Okay, so in the space of just a few minutes, things have turned around quite dramatically. Curtis Jones. Yeah, you're not saving that, are you? Not saving that. A really well-struck penalty. Right, so I think it's time to make another change, at least one. Anyway, Bellingham is absolutely shattered. We'll bring on Dan Wells. This is a young lad. Well, I'd say young, he's 25. Plays for Burnley. Valued at 63 million. I quite like the look of him, but apparently he's only a 3-star player. I'm not quite sure how that works. But yeah, he's going to come in for the last 10 minutes of the game. There's been a bit of clamour for him to get a chance at international level, so why not, hey? So with 5 minutes to go, we could just do with this playing out nice and calmly. We're going to go into stoppage time now, just 4 minutes of it. No more highlights. Doesn't look like it. So, funnily enough, somehow we've turned that around from a 1-0 loss to a 2-1 win. So that victory means we finish second in the group. Now, only the group winners go through to that funny little tournament towards the end to decide who is going to be the Nations League winners. So obviously France will be off to that. We retain our place in the top level of the competition, though. Croatia are the team that go down. So Scotland will be fairly pleased with that, I'd have thought. So I don't know when the next England games are going to be. We'll have a draw for the European Championship qualifiers before too long, I'd have thought. It normally takes place in December sometime. And the qualification games will probably start round about March. So next episode, we'll be back for some more action with Roma. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a bit disappointing not to do the business against France, but at least we got a win in Croatia. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like on there for me. And if you've got any comments about this episode or the series as a whole, I would love to see them below. And don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, click on that button and come and hop on the Greenobus. There is plenty of room for you all. Just remains for me to thank you for watching, and we'll see you back in Roma for some more action. Bye for now.